My name is Michael. I'm going to be taking you guys through some principles of good copy, but let's kick this thing off. So, harsh truth is most copy's invisible, not because it's bad, because nobody's actually reading it. If your words don't get read, they don't matter. It falls into the void. It's kind of like that awesome movie, but if no one watches it, it's just a complete bummer. Doesn't matter how you sound if nobody's listening. You don't exist. Your brand doesn't exist, and that's obviously where we want to grab people initially. So we're going to be breaking down principles of good copy and good copy that actually gets read. Because once you get people's eyes on it, you get clicks, sales, cash in the bank. So that's a game. Let's win it. Let's get into it. So, first and foremost, like I said, nobody's reading your copy. You might have the best copy in the world. You might spend hours crafting the perfect email, every word polished, everything's clever. But if you hit send and there's crickets, why? Because nobody read past the first line. And it's not your fault. It's really just the world we live in. People's, first and foremost, and we'll talk about it a lot today, people's attention spans are toast. People are waking up scrolling on TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. People used to maybe give you 5-10 seconds. In the world we're currently in with the constant dopamine rush and the instant dopamine, got about 3 seconds, which is pretty much faster than it takes to sneeze when you have that dumb look on your face, like looking at the sun. You have less time than that to grab people's attention. So if your copy doesn't grab people instantly, it's gone, deleted, buried under 50 other emails. So the rule is simple. If it doesn't hit fast, it doesn't hit at all. So let's kind of get into why email is a bit unique. What makes email unique from different platforms is people aren't hanging out in their inbox. Okay. People come in and come out fast. Think about it. When do you check your email? When you're walking to the bathroom, probably when you're in the bathroom, standing in line at Starbucks, waiting for a bagel to toast, in between Zoom meetings, when you're just like scrolling, have a few minutes, check and see what's going on. That's when people are reading their emails. People are not on their couch like, oh my god, I'm super excited to check my inbox. That doesn't happen. People to an extent doom scroll their email, but really just to get through it, not in the same way as TikTok, Instagram, where it's generally for entertainment. People go through it to see what's going on. So our copy needs to respect that. People are scanning it in short bursts. The clock's ticking the second they open, and if it doesn't deliver value, quick value, people are gone. And the bottom line is the clock's ticking. You have a few seconds to catch people's attention. So, what are some of the things that you want to avoid? First and foremost, you want to avoid putting in unnecessary information. If you're putting fluff in, you're missing the point. You need to be very straight to the point. Don't give them more than they need. Don't tell them that they're getting, you're getting exclusive access, insights, sneak peeks. People already know that. So why tell them again? Why waste space reiterating what they're already should know or at least going to find out, because you're going to be sending them follow-up emails. They know why they joined. Skip the fluff. Avoid too much copy. If you have too much text, it starts to look long, blocky. It starts to feel like homework. Nobody's volunteering for that, and most people are not going to read it. The longer the copy, the higher the churn. Shorter emails get read more. Principle number 2 in what to avoid. Too many main points. If you start putting in every single benefit of your product, people are going to get overwhelmed. People aren't going to remember them. General rule of thumb, each takeaway, each idea, each different idea, I should say, takes away 20% of the reader's attention. And think of that as a rule of thumb. But if you hammer one single point, they will keep it. It feels counterintuitive to leave stuff out, but trust me, one takeaway is better than a buffet of half remembered points. And we have a couple examples here of unnecessary information. Welcome aboard, welcome to the family, yada, yada, yada. Here's what you can look forward to as a subscriber. Exclusive offers, insights, sneak peeks. Why? It's just wasted space. Say welcome to the family, maybe a quick sentence about the brand, give them the discount, what they really came for, let them go on their way. You have 364 more days in the year to get your point across and go through all those unique selling points and all the different things that they can expect on the list. Here, introducing gorilla bars and then just a big wall of text. You're going to lose 80% of people in this big wall. It's not broken up. There's not too much that stands out. Nothing's bolded. Nothing's broken up. This is something we're going to want to avoid. There's just too much here. And then last but not least, going to this Traeger email. So, cook for a crowd. And then you have 3 ideas here. You got 4 here. You got a couple products, and you got 3 more things here. It's just too much. None of these are going to be remembered. Whereas if you made an individual email around each of these blocks, you'd be much better off in getting your customers to actually remember what you're sending them. And at the end of the day, that's what we're going for. We're looking for engagement, looking for opens, clicks, get people to the site, make the purchases, and you don't want to lose them in that process. So the principles of high converting copy, there's going to be 3. It's going to be making sure emails are skimmable, making sure they're clear and concise, and then also making sure that they are engaging. So getting into each of these individually. So skimmable. Here's the deal. Nobody reads every word anymore. They skim. Their eyes bounce around, looking for bolder words, headline, quick hits, trying to replicate that dopamine. There's no point in reinventing the wheel. So many people today are conditioned by the Instagram Reels, TikTok, Snapchat, maybe even Reddit, even though there's more text on there. But besides the point, when people see a big wall of text, they'll forget it. It's modern kryptonite. People see it, get overwhelmed, and skip. So you're going to want to avoid these big blocks of text. You're going to want to bold the main points. Don't let readers guess what the most important points in the email are. Show them extremely clearly so that they can skim your email and break it up into digestible blocks in their own head. Okay? And then last but not least, keep it short. You don't need to have a big wall of text. You don't need to write an essay. This isn't whatever it's called in college. I'm blanking on the word. This isn't an MLA format essay. These are short, to the point, punchy, snappy. Get your message across. The more you can say with the less words is the general idea that you're going to want to follow. And they did a great job here breaking down the different smells. You got 3, very easy to see with an image to the side. Short, punchy copy, gets it right to the point. And even here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is a Magic Mind email where, yeah, there's a lot of text, but it's broken up into 4 very clear sections. And even if people only read these headers, at least they start to understand, get intrigued, and then they'll at least be able to take something away, opposed to if this was all just one big block, you're going to, again, lose 80% of people. I always go with 80% because I'm a big believer in the 80-20 rule. So I think that applies to most things in life. So you're going to lose 80% of the people if your email simply isn't skimmable, if it's big blocks, whatever it may be. If people can't skim your email, they're not going to bother reading it. Which brings us to point number 2, being clear and concise. So you want to be short and sweet. Again, the more you can say with fewer words, the better. When someone opens their inbox, essentially imagine their IQ drops in half. Not literally, but close. Kind of in zombie mode. Checking emails isn't fun. It's more of a chore. Again, people aren't sitting down with their morning breakfast, coffee, excited to go through their inbox. It's what they do in passing. So you have to make it short, sweet, punchy, to the point. Your email really shouldn't be more than 1 or 2 scrolls. Going with that, you want to limit the key points per email. Now, this is a very important one that is sometimes a little hard to grasp, because with any brand, there's so many different selling points that you could talk about. But if you put 5, 6 main points in an email, nobody's going to remember anything. But if you can leave your customer with one takeaway, one main point, one highlight, that is going to boost the likelihood of them remembering it exponentially. The general idea is for every one email you send, there should be one takeaway. And I think they do a really good job here in Magic Mind talking about the benefits of caffeine, touch on briefly how it combines with L-theanine to boost cognitive performance. Again, not giving them a big essay here. I'm sure you could write pages and pages and pages, and there's probably so much there. But leaving it very short and sweet. If they want to learn more, they can. Talking through the research, putting in a little bit of social proof as well. And then here, short email focused on one key benefit, talking about gut health. And then you have 3 kind of minor benefits here. But look how they're broken up. There's a clear header, 1 sentence, and then going through kind of the basics here. Each email should be one angle. So for example, if you have a creatine brand and you're doing an email and you're talking about sleep and how creatine improves sleep, keep it to that one point. Don't start talking about, the benefits of strength and cognitive health and how it might help in your job. No, talk about sleep. Talk about how it improves sleep, but keep it to one main idea opposed to going off into all the tangents that you could, because at the end of the day, there's 364 more days in the year where you can write an individual email on each of those, and you don't have to get it all across simply in one email. And then let's talk about what makes people want to open again. Engagement. Remember, your customer's brain is hooked on dopamine. TikTok, Reels, Snapchat, all designed to hit those buttons, those dopamine buttons over and over. So if your emails are boring, you're cooked. Let's talk about how to make them more engaging, punchy. You want to keep it short but packed with power. Make people feel something, but you have to do that quickly. Again, the more you can say with less words, the better. Fewer words, the better. I think that's grammatically correct. Informational. People like to learn. So drop facts, tips, things that make them smarter. Even drop different sorts of educational content. It doesn't even have to be necessarily around your product, but around the industry. If you're a creatine brand and you have a supplement or a gummy or something like that specifically designed around sleep, maybe don't even start off talking about the product and the benefits. Start talking about sleep as a whole and make it informational so that people are learning something. People should be able to gather something from your email. They should always be able to take something away of value. You want them walking away thinking, I didn't know that. You just leveled up your brand in their mind and gave them something important that they're actually going to remember. And then entertaining. The bar's been raised in terms of triggering dopamine for users. Thanks a lot. TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, talked about it a lot today. But don't be afraid to use, jokes, memes, GIFs, puzzles, puns, stories, whatever fits your voice. The only sin, essentially, when it comes to email marketing, when it comes to writing good copy, is being repetitive and predictable. When it comes to marketing more as a whole, you want to have those disruptors in there. If your emails look like everybody else's, then, what's the point? People are going to zone you out the same way that they zone out 50, 100 other brands that are targeting their inbox each day. Bottom line, the email should never feel like homework. They have to have a quick hit of value, fun, information, let people learn, let people be engaged, and give them something. Don't make it hard. Don't reinvent the wheel. And here's a couple good examples from Seeds and Dr. Squatch. So fun and educational. Don't just buy shit. Talking about investing in yours, and then hit them with a quick fact, something informational, something interesting, and then obviously redirect them with the CTA, bring them to the site. And then creative, funny, punchy, how to last longer, Dr. Squatch, give them some tips. But again, look how short this email is. This is 2 scrolls tops. This is what we're going for. You don't need something long, drawn out that people aren't going to be able to get to the bottom of. So going through that's going to take us to the end of this one, but to kind of zoom out, go through what we covered. So the three core principles is going to be skimmable, make your emails clear and concise, make them engaging. Nobody's going to read fluff, get to the point. Too long is too boring. Shorter copy always wins. Always keep it to one big takeaway opposed to 5 smaller ones, and keep your reader's attention very focused. And at the end of the day, don't be boring. Your copy should make people smile, nod, learn something new, and essentially that's the whole game. So good copy isn't about sounding smart, it's about being able to read. And your job isn't to impress people with all these big words and crazy thoughts. Your idea is to get attention. Your emails are content. Hold it for 3 to 5 seconds that you have, deliver one clear message. If you can nail this down, you'll get a very engaged list of readers that always expect value from your email. So thank you for hanging with me. Go write something awesome, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you, guys.